Shalom. Before I begin, I want to give our praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahshua, Ba'ashem Yakakodash, the bounty to the apostles, and others, great millstone. Shalom to the eye, conceiving his word, Dr. Four Corners, and true sincerity. I'm back with another lesson. Do the spring prayer, Ba'ashem Yahshua, Lord, to be edifying us to the elect. And the topic, this lesson, going into, the captive hastening to be loose. Okay. The true name of God is Yahweh, which means he is or he exists. The name of his son is Yahweh Shai, who the world calls Jesus. That's not his name. It's Yahweh Shai, which means he saves or he delivers. All right. But as I was saying, the captive hasten it, to be loosed. Right? Right, who are the captives? Okay, let's first get the word. What does it mean to be a captive, right? Because Jake think, they free and shit. It's just made prisoner, enslaved, caught. All right, who has been caught? It says person or group of people. Look at that, of people, a group of people who the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans who cannot leave and must stay and listen. That's us. Right there. Like we've been made captives, right, to the so-called Caucasians, to the Edomites. All right, Esau, Edom. All right, these crackers, these so-called white people, all right, we are captive, towards them, starting with your elite bacon, families that truly own, these major, corporations. And when I say corporations, I'm talking about the United States of America, which is a major, corporation and all the assets throughout the whole earth. They push, and influence things behind the scenes that Jake may not know. It may look, for face value as something that's positive, but it's really toward our, detriment, and they push it through, mainly rap music, through the internet, all right, through the influence of our people. They do it, all right, and we have been made prisoner towards them, all right, and it says, who cannot leave and must stay and listen. So if you don't abide by, Esau's way of life, you are casted out, all right, and we cannot leave. Where can we go? Where can we truly go where we can truly call a place home? Where can we truly go where we don't have to worry about this devil, right? Jake tried to, we had the Black Wall Street. Esau blew that shit up. Jake tried to, do things on their own accord, but, Esau came and, sabotaged it, infiltrated it. Okay, so we have been made, captive. All right, let's get that in. Start with that precept in Isaiah 51:14. It's the captive exile hasteneth that he may be loose, that he should not die in the pit, nor that his bread should fail. Right? All right, so we want to be loose. We want to be set free. We want to be delivered, from this captivity. We're not seeking monetary, gain. All right, that's not our true mindset. All right, we know that that's not going to work, because look at, Kanye West, for an example. Billionaire, and all his assets got took in a day. All right, from billionaire to millionaire, just like that, all of it got took. All right, look at LeBron James. He tried to speak his mind. They told that nigga, shut up and play basketball. So where can we go? What can we do to be truly have some type of sovereign, to be sovereign? All right, it's not here, so we have to wait. All right, upon our Savior. All right, I mentioned his name, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh, because Yahweh the Father, all right, Abba, is going to send his Son, his only begotten Yahweh Shai, to deliver, us, from, this captivity, and not only from this captivity, but to deliver us from, these wicked and vile, bodies that we have no control over. All right, that could represent a form of captivity, because the scriptures call, it's like it. The scriptures call these bodies, I'm gonna get it. It's lucky. Jude 1-6. I get both. But it says the angels, and the angels, all right, angels just means messenger, which kept not their first estate, but left their own habitation. He had reserved in the everlasting chains under darkness until the judgment of the great day. 2 Peter 2:4 says, for the Most High spared not the angels that sinned, but cast them down to hell and delivered them into chains of darkness to be reserved unto judgment. So these bodies are likened as the chains of darkness. And when you're in captivity, hardcore captivity, what is used to place bounds on you, to bind you? A chain, right? So we have been made, captive. We've been made, bound, all right, by these bodies. We have no, well, I'm not going to say free will, but we have no control, right? Paul said it himself, the things that he would do, things that he wanted to do, he couldn't. Things that he didn't want to do, he did, right? So that could represent, a form of captivity in itself, but, mainly focuses on, us physically being here in America, right? We need Yahweh to come and deliver us, right? And he is. Right, he is. All right, let's get, I want to get at James 5:4. It says, behold, the hire of the laborers who have reaped down your fields, which is of you kept back by fraud, crieth, and the cries of them who have reaped are entered into the ears of the Lord of Sabaoth, which means the Lord of armies. All right, who are these laborers? All right, represents us. All right, we are the laborers. All right, and we're crying unto the Lord to hasten the time to, deliver us from, this hell, that we're in. All right. It says, you have lived in pleasure on the earth and been wanton. You have nourished your hearts as in the day of slaughter. You have condemned and killed the just, and he did not resist you. All right. Talking about Esau, Edom, because we've been made captive, under him. It says, be patient, therefore, brethren, unto the coming of the Lord. So we got to be patient until the return of Yahweh. They see me how the disciples asked Yahweh, when is this second coming? When is the end going to be? Because they know that Yahweh was going to be the one to, liberate them, to liberate, us. Right? It says, behold, the husbandman waited for the precious fruit of the earth and had long patience for it until he received the early and latter rain. So we got to wait. Right? We got to be patient. We got to suffer too. Because patience goes into suffering, our returns. All right, that's a lot that we've been, given. All right, this is the job that we, signed up for. So, it's all in due time that we will reap the benefits of what, reap the benefits of what we've been going through. Or even though the scriptures called us a light affliction, we will be graciously, rewarded for what we've been doing, because it's not really, because of things that we've done, but ultimately because of the promises that was made towards our forefathers, of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, as his seed being, multiplied as the sands of the sea and the stars of heaven. All right, they waiting on that. It's like we're waiting on that. This is Matthew 24:30. It says, and then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, talking about Yahweh. And then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. All right, because when Yahweh returns, it's not gonna be like the way he came the first time, humbly. Right? He's gonna come back like a God-like power. Right? It says, he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other. So that's how we gonna get delivered. All right. The Lord is gonna send, the angels which are going to be riding in those chariots to beam us up, all right, throughout the four corners of the earth, because the elect, are scattered throughout the four corners, because the Israelites have been scattered throughout the four corners as a curse. But the Lord is waking us up in different parts of the earth to preach, to teach, and to wake up those who are sincere, all right, and who are sorry, for the things that, that we have done, things that they have done. I just say the things that we have done in this life, in past lives, all right? With that alone, this lesson was edifying. I want to give all praises to Yahweh Bashim, El Shah Bashim, Kakwadash, the honors to the apostles, and others good months on the shalom to the I am teaching, but four corners and true sincerity. Shalom.